Hey guys. Well, today I want to talk about a couple things of life in general. I watched some stuff on YouTube the last couple days, and it amazes me how people turn on other people and they don't even know them. So I wanted to address that. For instance, this interview yesterday with Fatso and Stacks. Now, people have been asking me, Jimmy, where do you stand with Stacks? What do you think about Stacks? Do you think Stacks is your friend? What type of person is Stacks? Well, you know what? I have to tell you, I'm the type of person, if I'm your friend to the end, unless I see otherwise. I don't burn people. If I give you my friendship, what you see is what you get. That's how I am with me. I'm a true blue type of guy. I don't burn people. I was never ever taught to burn people unless I want to burn that bridge and you have it coming. Now, I know Stacks for a little while, and I have to be honest with you because I don't lie. I don't lie for nobody. I like Stacks. Okay. I know in the course of life, we all have a battle we are fighting, every single one of us. I don't care if you have all the money in the world, you're still fighting a battle. It's just the way it is. Now, it bothers me when people want to point fingers at other people and say that they're a bad guy, because it happened to me. And I don't like people who do that. They point fingers. Oh, yeah, he's no good. He's a bad guy. Now, Stacks always showed me kindness. If I called him and I needed some kind of help with the computer, things I don't know, he would answer the phone and say, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? What can I help you with?" So I know Stacks' character, and I know he has battles he's fighting, just like I have battles I'm fighting, just like you people out there have battles you are fighting. So, I don't like to judge people. I judge people by their character, the context of their character, of how they are and who they are. I don't go on this show and I don't talk bad about people that don't have it coming to them. It's just not me. I don't do things like that. So Stacks is my friend. He's kind to me. I like his character. I know he has a past, just like I have a past. Everyone has some kind of past. People have skeletons in the closet. If you were an ex-criminal, obviously you did some bad shit, you know? So, you can't judge people. You could judge people by who they are today, what they went through in their life and who they are today. If they're a good person and they learn from their mistakes and they want to better their life, then that's how I judge somebody. If someone went through some crazy shit in their life and they're still in the same place and they're still doing the same thing, then that's how I judge people. So I don't like people who point fingers to other people. So Stacks, to me, is a kind person. He didn't show me different. Until then, I'm cool with Stacks. I want everyone to know that. Now, I see other people pointing fingers and saying Stacks is this, Stacks is that. Now, I got to say it's a bunch of bullshit. You know, look at the character of the person that is saying it. Look at that person. That person needs to look in the mirror and look at himself, because that person is no good. So I wanted to address that. I'm not going to give certain people any life on YouTube. I don't want to mention their name. I think they're pieces of shit, and I don't like them. And that's just where I stand with them. They're never, ever going to have my attention. They're evil. They're no good. Another thing I wanted to say was, I also want to tell you a story from back in the day. I'm going to talk about Andrew Reynolds. Now, Andrew Reynolds was Tommy Reynolds' father. Now, the Reynolds, in some way, they were related to Tony the Pro, Provenzano. They say Tony the Pro, Provenzano had something to do with Jimmy Hoffa. I don't know. I think some of it is true. I can't tell that story because I wasn't there, and I don't know the story about Jimmy Hoffa. But I know Jimmy Hoffa was a tough guy. That's for sure. So one day, Andrew Reynolds takes me, Tommy Reynolds, little Georgie Adamo, and John Polio out to Chinatown in Manhattan. Now, this is the early 80s, before John Gotti was a boss, and Andrew Reynolds was very close with the Genovese people. His friend was Bobby Manor. So we're eating in a restaurant. I'm not sure if Tommy's mother was there at the time, but Bobby Manor comes and sees Andrew Reynolds, and he comes at the table and he sits down with us, and we're kids. I might have been 12 years old, 13 years old, but I know Andrew Reynolds very good since I was a kid, and we hear stories about Bobby Manor, that he's a wise guy, he's a big shot. So Andrew takes us to eat some Chinese food, and who's sitting down with us? Bobby Manor. And Bobby Manor is joking with us and saying, you know, what are these kids? What are they, little gangsters and stuff like that? But it was a nice moment, a nice memory. And we had dinner with Bobby Manor. And Bobby Manor was a big shot at one time. So, you know, these are the people that were in our company. You know, these are the memories I have of these people. So then I could tell you another story when we used to sell fireworks on Canal Street. It was me, Albert Slavin, Georgie Adamo, John Polio, Reynolds, and Joe Butch would have the fireworks. Now, back then on Canal Street, you were allowed to sell fireworks out in the open. We used to go fireworks, firecrackers, fireworks, firecrackers. And that's how it was in the street. Today, you can't sell fireworks. You can't even possess fireworks. It's not allowed. So we had Canal Street, and it might have been Hester. It was 2 blocks away from Mott Street. And we used to sit down on our beach chairs. Kevin Orkento was there. He was from my neighborhood. Alfredo Temporino was alive at the time. He was selling the fireworks too. And all these people would come up to us. We would give them a list. We would never, ever bring anybody to the fireworks spot. No civilian would be allowed to be in the fireworks spot. So they would give us a list. We would circle what they wanted, and we would tell them, wait right here. We'll be back in 10 minutes. and we would walk to the spot, the destination, the hideout of where the fireworks were, and we would get a paper bag, and we would put the stuff what they wanted in a paper bag, and then we would walk it back to them. They would pay us, and we would give that money to Alfredo Temporino. He would hold on to it. And at the end of the day, we would all get a paycheck. Hundreds of dollars we would make. Back in the day, fireworks was a big business. Still today, it's still a big business. You got to go to Pennsylvania to get fireworks today. You can't possess no fireworks in New York City. But these are the guys that I admired and I looked up to when I was a kid. Now, I want to go back to when I was a kid because I love talking when I was a kid because I have so many good memories when I was a kid. Now, me and Fabrizio grew up in the same building, Bay 16th and Bath Avenue, 8784 Bay 16th Street. At first, Fabrizio lived on the first floor. I lived on the top floor. Eventually, Fabrizio's mother and father bought a house down the block, and I moved into Fabrizio's apartment, and then Nancy and her children moved into my apartment. Now, the building was a 6-family building. In the building, everyone in the building was all women with their children. They were all single women. We had Kathy and the Farisis, John Farisi, Russell Farisi, Anthony Farisi, and the mother Kathy. We had my mother with my sister, my brother. Nancy was on the top floor. Phyllis Vassalone was upstairs. Bridget was downstairs with Dee Dee, Frankie, and Jeffrey. And there was 6 female women with all kids, and the building would be a good building. You know, we had so many good times there. And then you had Gail with her kids, Eileen and April, and stuff like that. But those times were good times. These were times when you knock on someone's door if you didn't have anything, and you could ask for some milk. You could ask for sugar. You know, I was a kid back then. When we didn't have money, I used to go shoplifting for food. So I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. You know, I grew up with my mom struggling when I was a kid, and I would have to go out and try to make money and help out my family in the house. So we didn't have it like my children have it. Thank God my children are doing very well. And, you know, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have iPads. We don't have none of that stuff. You know, we were lucky if we had 2 nice pair of jeans. And I remember when I was a kid, when I used to leave the house, I always used to want to iron my pants and be neat. My favorite jeans back then were Calvin Klein. I used to love Calvin Klein jeans with brand new sneakers. And every time I would go home after I went out, I would clean my sneakers with a toothbrush to make sure they were clean. And we were decked out. Try to have a nice shirt. I didn't have no jewelry when I was a kid. That came later on. But those are the good memories I remember. And then what we had was we had downstairs in the basement, we made a clubhouse. And we put a table and chairs, and we would have some weights, and we'd be doing some push-ups, and we would be playing cards. We would play Knuckles. Knuckles was a game. You deal 4 cards. If you get a diamond, a heart, a spade, a club, automatically you're out of the game. So everybody wanted one of each suit to get out of the game. And then you play Knuckles, and everybody would just, the last man standing would get the Knuckles. Everyone would get a turn. And if you had a dozen cards in your hand, you will get in a dozen Knuckles from each and every person. That's the game we used to play. So looking back, we grew up tough kids. It wasn't like today where you can't say anything, people get offended. It was a different world back then. I'm a 1969 baby. So, those times are very precious to me when I remember them. And then I remember Big Satch in the neighborhood. He was a big guy. He just came out of jail. His girlfriend across the street, Marianne, lived there with little Sal. And he was a big guy. He was a tough guy. And I remember him killing somebody on Bath Avenue. But this is the neighborhood I grew up in. People were getting killed left and right. And growing up, everything was about respect. If you didn't have respect, then you would get taught how to respect people. That's how it was. It ain't like today. Today, you have the internet. Okay, you're over there, I'm over here. So anybody could come out of their mouth and say this and say that. And that's what today is. You can say anything you want. No one gets punched in the mouth no more. And that's what destroyed the world. Today, you can't even teach your own kids the proper way of growing up because you have other people that would say you're not doing a good job. So the world has changed tremendously. Back then, men were men, and today you ain't got too many men left. That's for sure. That's 100%. You ain't got too many men left. 100%. Now, I remember when I was a kid, when we left the house, we had some guys that were maybe 5 to 7 years older than us. Then you had older guys in the social club that had maybe over 20 years on us. Now, when we left the house right away, we would get Charlie horsed. You would get punched in your leg, or you would get slapped in the back of your neck like a quick slap. So, that's how it was back then. It wasn't none of this bullshit today where, somebody says something and you get your feelings hurt. But to change the subject, I have to say this YouTube is out of control. It really is. It's 100% out of control. Anybody can say anything they want. Then all these people have credibility. Let's go, for example, let's talk about Johnny A. Liar. Okay, I hate to bring up his name. This guy, when he had his show, who does he give credibility to? He gives credibility to Hootie, and he gives credibility to Gene Barillo, right? Two guys I never heard of before in my life. Okay, Gene Barillo reaches out to me instead of Johnny A. Light, and he says, "Jimmy, you want to come on the show?" Now, I didn't want to go on this show. So I said, you know what? Meet me in Sheepshead Bay, okay? And we'll have lunch and we'll talk about it. So I meet them in Sheepshead Bay because I'm a nice guy. We take a picture. Now, all of a sudden, I'm in a photo with them. So now they're my friend. So this is another example and lesson to learn from my mistakes, people. Don't take pictures with people. You take pictures with people, then eventually they tell lies about you. They say, "Oh, well, we know Jimmy, from here. We met Jimmy a dozen times." I met them one time. They don't even know me. They think they know me. They don't know me. So sometimes when you're nice, people take kindness for weakness, and that's the truth. Now, getting into YouTube, it just bothers me how people talk about other people. So, for example, today you're talking about this person, he's no good, and then you're having that person on your channel and you're interviewing him. Now, what the fuck is that? What's that all about? You just said this guy's no good. Now you're interviewing him? I don't get that shit. I don't know. That shit is not where I come from. So these guys point a finger at a guy, yeah, he's no good, and then they want to interview him. I don't get it. I don't understand that at all. And that's not something, I'm not like that at all. And I'm going to be staying far away from these people. I don't want nothing to do with these people. I can't stand none of these motherfuckers. I really can't. I don't like none of them, honestly. Let me change the subject now. Now, let me get into Sammy, okay? I want to talk about Sammy because I know Sammy interests you. Now, look, I love Sammy. That's it. Okay, I said it. I love Sammy. Sammy and I hit it off very well. Okay, when I met Sammy, Sammy opened up his door to me, and he treated me like a son. I woke up to him. I had conversations with him. I spoke with him about gangster stuff, and I looked at him at times when he was talking to me, and I had his sunglasses on, and I looked at him, and I said to myself, I said, wow. I said, this guy's a real fucking gangster, you know. And he reminded me of Herbie Sperling when I met Herbie Sperling. Herbie Sperling was a tough guy. So when people are nice to me, I give it right back to them. I act accordingly. And it's the same way when people aren't nice to me. I'm not going to be nice to them. So that's the way I roll. And I'm not here to talk bad about people, okay? I got a lot of messages about Stacks. Jimmy, where do you stand with Stacks? And I didn't reply to those messages, but I like Stacks, okay? I think Stacks is a sincere guy. He has a daughter. He wants to get back involved with her life. He wants them to be a family. As you know, in time goes by real quick. And every day is a precious day to make a nice memory together. And that's where Stack is in his life. I had conversations with Stacks, and Stacks is a nice guy. Okay, whatever he did in the past is the past. It's the same thing with me. I wasn't a nice kid when I was younger. I was doing the wrong thing, thinking I was doing the right thing. When I was doing the wrong thing, guys were patting me on the back saying, well, that was good. I mean, you're a good kid. Now I do the right thing, and now people don't like it. So, you're not going to make everyone happy, but you got to make yourself happy and the right people happy. The people who are in your life, the people who care about you, those are the people you make happy. Forget about all these fly-by-nights, because that's what they are. They're fly-by-nights. They're your friends today, and then tomorrow they're talking about you, and they're hanging out with your enemy tomorrow. That's the type of people these people are. That's YouTube people. That's what these people are, YouTube people. They fucking talk about you, and then they're hanging out with your enemy. But everyone's into this mob shit. They're fascinated by this mob stuff. If you really live this street life and you've been through the shit I've been through, you know what? You really wouldn't be so fascinated about it. Everyone's talking about, oh, I'm a mob historian. I know all about this, and I know all about that hit and this, Little Bonnie, this one, that one. Bro, you just don't know fucking shit, bro. You could never, ever sit at the table with these people. These people are special people, all of them. They go by a code. Everyone to them is a rat. They don't trust nobody. That's how that life is. And eventually in that life, you do something wrong. Your own friend is the person who kills you, but you're not allowed to rat. Your best friend could kill you, but you're not allowed to rat. So there's no honor, there's no loyalty in that life. But the thing I want to do, which I'm going to do on this YouTube, you're all going to see it with your own eyes, is that someone that's in the mob, a wise guy, he's going to come forward one day, and it's going to be right here on my platform. Right here on my platform, he's going to come forward, and I'm going to interview him, and he's going to say, today is the day I quit the mob. That's what's going to happen on my show. So in the future, get ready for that. That's what's going to happen. Someone who's a wise guy in a crime family is going to come forward on my show, and they're going to say, today's the day I quit the mob. And you're going to see that with your own two eyes on my show. So keep on tuning in. So I'm going to read a couple of your comments and see what you have to say. You know, I read these comments, right? And I see some of these guys make some funny comments. I guess they want me to mention their name. But I'm going to tell you this. Look, I'll tell you this. I'm not going to mention their name, but if they were in front of me, I don't even think they'd be able to talk. Seriously, they probably wouldn't say one word if they were in front of me. That's 100%. I know that for a fact. They wouldn't say one word. All these people that have mouths and they have opinions, they wouldn't say one word. I guarantee it, 100%. This is what you got to deal with today in YouTube. Well, I also want to give a shout out to tomorrow night. I'm going to be on the Fat Bald Sicilian show at 5 p.m. So the Fat Bald Sicilian tomorrow night at 5 p.m. He's going to be interviewing me. We'll be talking about a couple things. It's going to be a good interview. I promised him a while back that I would give him an interview. And I like the Fat Bald Sicilian because he's pretty real and he don't have to hide who he is friendly with. That's the thing with these people. So right away, because someone cooperated with the government, wait, I can't let anybody know that I'm friendly with that person. But use people are fake. That's what yous are. You are fake people. Okay? People like that, I don't want people like that in my life. I want real people in my life. And also, I want to give a shout out to Mike Bickings from Philadelphia, Art of War. That's my boy. Thanks, Mike, for everything. I love you, bro. You are the best. I appreciate the VIP seats and showing me love. Very kind of you. And also, I want to thank all my supporters for believing in me and sending me love. I send my love right back to all of you. And in the course of this life, you know what? You got to be strong because you're dealing with a bunch of idiots. You really are. These people are idiots. If you watch people's videos, you could tell who's on drugs, who's a fake, who's a liar, who's a punk. People calling each other names. This is all they do. This is all they do. They're all fake and they want to point fingers to other people. You got to point fingers to yourself. Work on yourself. That's what you need to work on. You. Work on yourself. Change for the better. Stop causing drama because that's all you love to do is drama. You want to cause drama. I'm checking out these comments over here. Well, I appreciate all you people stopping by and sending me some love and checking out my channel. Now, I'll give you one more story. Okay, I'm going to characterize some people. Now, I tell stories about Bobby the Chico. Now, Bobby the Chico was Georgie the Chico's son. I was very close with him, the Chicos, and he was a flashy guy back in his day. Always had the slacks on, always walked fast, always had a stack of money in his pocket. He ran the gambling with the phones. He was a car dealer in Vegas. And I grew up, I was very friendly with him. He taught me a lot of things about guys, about the street. So I have to give him some kind of credit. And he introduced me to a lot of wise guys. But the real people who taught me about the street, the real vicious ones, I'm going to mention. I learned a lot of it from a guy like Georgie Sapola, Georgie Conti, Tommy Karate. These guys really, really showed me about the street, life and death, and how you manipulate your own friend to kill him. This is where I really, really learned a lot of bad things from these people. And I looked at them and I seen it. I said to myself, I said, you know what? I never want to be like those people. And thank God I didn't. I never became like those people. Because that life in the street, in the mob, it's a dead end. There's no happy ending in that life. You can look at everyone's story. There's no happy ending. It's either debt, cooperation, or prison. And I never, ever burnt a saint in my hand. Thank God I never burnt a saint in my hand. Because so I never took that oath to give my life to these people. And if you did, you have to live with that. You're taking those people over your own family. Think about that. Now that's some sick shit for real. And in that life, I remember when guys were straightening out their own sons. That was some funny shit too. They straighten out their own sons to make sure their sons are protected by the tough guys in the street. So there's really not too many more tough guys in the street left because it's all false. That whole life is a false. It's all bullshit. The tough guy today is the working guy. Go to work, get a pay stub at the end of the week, and earn your money the right way. That's the tough guy. Do the right thing. Try to save someone else's life instead of taking someone's life. That's a tough guy. Now, I also want to give a shout out to the local law enforcement, because law enforcement are very important people. And not all of them are good people. But you know what? They are good people because they're protecting you, me, and the community. And if you live in a community, you have to be a part of that community and help people in that community. This is what you do. That's the right thing to do. That's the right path to take. But with all that said, I'm sure you heard enough from me. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to have some guests in the future. They're going to surprise you. I got a couple people coming on soon. You're going to like it. So tomorrow night, the Fat Ball Sicilian, you get your shot with me interview. I hope you do a good interview. Don't screw it up. You're going to get one shot. Everyone, good night. Thanks for the support. I love you guys. And I'll see you on my next video. With that said, talk to you soon.